And welcome back to part 5 of What If Naruto has Zanpakuto, the Ryujinn Jakka edition. Last time, Naruto did finally activate Ryujinn Jakka in order to stop the Shikaku from raging hell onto the village. Luckily, he had Gamabunta there also to use liquid bullets to basically rain down upon the flames to keep them at bay so they didn't incinerate the entire forest. And now we catch up to Naruto after the fact, where we left him off training with Jiraiya to go find Tsunade and learn the Rasengan. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I had Itachi and Kasame come collect him. Naruto could activate Ryujinn Jakka. In this version, because it's flames, Kasame's Samahara could, in theory, do something, but there'd be so much flames there that it would just overwhelm him. But beyond that, he might pull a sword out, but he kind of knows that he can't take these guys on. Jiraiya still comes. I forgot to mention that Sasuke should also show up here as well. Nothing changes in that. And he gets floored. And so he gets sent back to the village by Guy, Itachi and Kasame escape, and Naruto's training actually begins. Now, one of the things Naruto does point out to Jiraiya is he would like to find a spot to train and try to use Ryujinn Jakka more effectively. Jiraiya asks, what's Ryujinn Jakka? Oh, it's my blade. Yeah, if we can find us maybe a clearing with a lot of water, maybe this will help. It's like, sure, Brett. And so he goes and Naruto activates Ryujinn Jakka. All things in the universe turn to ash. And Jiraiya's like, whoa! It's like those flames are got to be at the level of a Kage. But what the hell? And then Naruto starts kind of and it's like, yeah, man, this is only the second time I've activated this, but it's really tough on my body. I was like, well, no wonder. He reseals Ryujinn Jakka so he doesn't completely wipe himself out. No wonder. The amount of chakra and firepower you're throwing out there would probably tire out even a Kage. Luckily it seems this place is pretty good. It's probably on a big canyon lake with waterfalls, so there's so much water there that the fire can kind of be doused. Granted, he notices that he does start to evaporate the water after a while with training, but still. And so Jiraiya is going to go into town for a little bit. He's going to go get some supplies. And he says, why don't you practice up here for a little bit? Meanwhile, Ryujin actually does say, well, while we are practicing with my release and using my Shikai, you could also benefit from learning some fire-style jutsu, Naruto. What? But I don't know how to use fire-style. I don't know how to use fire-style jutsu. That is the point of learning. Ryujin's like, what did I just say? That you're going to learn. But beyond that, you did not originally have a fire affinity. In fact, and he just stops and senses for a minute, your affinity actually was for wind. But this is actually advantageous. Wind and fire complement each other very well. Beyond that, now that we have access to my abilities, my chakra has grown. The chakra from me has grown inside, or has merged to a degree with yours as well. You should now also have an affinity for fire, which your wind will strengthen. Oh, cool, awesome. I would maybe talk to your sensei about learning some basic fire jutsu when you get the chance. Okay, cool, I will. Wait, do you know anything? Absolutely. I am the fire-based Zanpakuto, Naruto. Of course I know fire jutsu, but the basics are still important. And so Naruto goes, and this is where he finds, and I think this is a alteration of what we had here, where Jiraiya took his money and spent it on women and booze. And he starts beating them up. The guy comes in, Jiraiya shows off the Rasengan, and it's like, whoa! It's like, cool, huh? Well, luckily, since you know the Shadow Clone Jutsu, this shouldn't actually take as long as I thought it would. He explains the process of learning the Rasengan. And Naruto says, cool. And he summons about 20 clones. And 10 of the clones grab a water balloon and start working at the technique. Well, the other 10 basically ask, he's like, well, actually, Jiraiya Sensei, Ryujin actually had a good point. Apparently, I have access to fire chakra now. It's possible you could teach me some fire jutsu? Oh, well, that makes sense. I mean, from what I understand and know of the lore of the Uzumaki, these types of blades actually are sentient and they connect with you. So it makes sense that his chakra would kind of start to slowly merge with yours. Sure, why not? Here's a scroll of a couple basic fire-style jutsus. And the fireball jutsus, the phoenix flower jutsu, and the what was it? Is it the Dragon Fire Jutsu or the Dragon Flame Bomb? I think what Sasuke did with the Dragon Flame Bomb, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, though. Either way, it's not the one that the third used against Orochimaru that turned white hot fire. And so 10 of the clones are working on fire jutsu, while the other 10 are working on the Rasengan training. And Naruto is definitely, he has better chakra control here, so he's already seeing some results. And it takes some time, but after, I don't know, a few days, he does get down the balloon popping, pops it, and he keeps doing it until he's sure about it. He gives a couple to show Jiraiya as well. But he keeps doing it until he's sure about it, then tries it out with just himself, and poof, he's got it. Plus, the clone's got the fire style jutsus down, and he shows it off to Jiraiya, like, ha, got it down. Plus, I got all the jutsu you did. It's like, oh, well, that's actually, showed me. Not bad, Brett, not bad at all. Now, you might think it's a little quick for Naruto to be getting all those jutsu down, but the fact of the matter is that Naruto already has a very strong fire affinity, having the strongest fire Zanpakuto. Using the shadow clones, we know will speed up the process, so it's really not that big. And they're basic fire jutsu, too. I think that's the other thing. Naruto never actually learned any wind jutsu apart from adding his wind chakra to the Rasengan. So, yeah. Got a little bit of a missed opportunity there. My old favorite Tornado Fist Explosion, which I always throw in there from now and then. Or at least the Great Breakthrough or the Gale Palm, for God's sake. Anywho, so Naruto moves on to the next phase. And Naruto also sends a couple clones to train with Ryujinn Jakka in that, area. Because he splits the clones up, the chakra does get divided. So it's actually a bit more effective to train with the Ryujinn Jakka with the clones because it weakens Ryujinn Jakka. Even a weakened Ryujinn Jakka is still a massively powerful weapon. But Naruto keeps working and working. He makes more clones, like up to like 30 or 40 this time. And he's still getting there. Eventually, though, he does start to pop the ball. And he then goes all out. And the minute he pops, like the clones disperse, and he just goes flying back. And Jiraiya, Jiraiya's like, oh, gotcha. He's finally got it. And so he shows up. So he's happy. He finds the extra clones. They pop out of existence. He's really impressed with Naruto's growth here. And so he gives him the last step. And unfortunately, he says, you're not going to be able to use a clone, or at least a lot of clones, because we got to get moving. Luckily, you can do this on the fly. And so Naruto, who's been able to do all this in one hand so far, has to try to contain it all. And unfortunately, it's not that easy. Even with better chakra control, even with one or two clones at his side doing it, like the damn thing keeps popping on him. And he almost gets there at one point. And he even tries like holding it there with his hand, and he does get it with his hand. He's like, all right, I think I got it. But the minute he takes his hand off, like it starts to spin. It's like, no, come on. And then it finally sets it. All right. But he knows like this isn't right. I need to get it with one hand. So he kind of does it to get the feel of it. And then he continues with one hand. Ultimately, they find Tsunade. Naruto has nearly got it down. And that whole conversation with Tsunade goes the same. Ryujinn might even pop in and say, this woman is cursed, but I can tell too, she is hurting Naruto. She has lost her way. And ultimately, Naruto challenges her to a fight, and Naruto pulls out his blade, like ready, and say, one finger's long underneath. Naruto charges in, and she just flicks him. Ah, crap! And he does reflexively bring his sword up. She dodges. It's like, that's not a bad technique. Not a bad move, kid. You're not bad with that sword, but you're gonna have to or you want to hit me. And Naruto just comes in, tries to attack again, gets thrown back again with a finger. What makes you so touchy about Hokages anyway? Because unlike you, I respect them. It's my dream to be Hokage. Believe it. And he comes in with the Rasengan, holding his blade in the other hand, Rasengan, and it's nearly there, and then she just stops him, and he fails, and just craters the ground with the swirl, not completed. She chastises Jiraiya like she always does. Well, I teach it to someone who can never master it. Just give me 3 days and I'll have that technique down flat. I'll give you a week. You put my necklace and as collateral. But if not, I can keep everything in Froggy here. So get that back. And so Naruto goes and trains. And not surprisingly, he does get the Rasengan down in about a week because he was so close as it was. And Tsunade is actually not aware of this. Like, she probably catches him at one point, like, resting. He is making sure that he has it down, though. Like, he is going to drill it in that he gets it down. She does see, like, his progress, but she never actually sees him do it. And so the day comes, Orochimaru asks for Tsunade's help to restore his hands. She turns on him, goes after him, drugs Jiraiya, and the gang shows up. Now, Naruto still goes after Kabuto here. He pulls out his blade, goes for his wounded hand. Kabuto summons some clones. And just as Kabuto's about to launch the blood at him, he actually has to fire style, dragon fire jutsu. It's like, huh? And Kabuto actually has to get up. Meanwhile, a clone jumps off of Naruto's back, brings the sword down. And Kabuto basically brings out a kunai, puts some chakra through it. And Naruto puts chakra through his own blade. They clash before it cuts through it and actually gashes Kabuto. Where Kabuto pops the clone out, throws blood in Naruto's eye again, and is able to get him away. Kabuto, though, does actually have to backtrack and actually starts healing up the gash on us. It's not a deep gash, but it's enough that make him pause. Like, you've definitely gotten more skilled, Naruto. That is a fact. He even picked up some fire style jutsu. I must admit, that is impressive. And obviously, Orochimaru summons 3 snakes. He tries to summon Gamabunta, fails. He gets Gabakichi. Naruto's like, hold on, and it's Gabatatsu. Crap! And so, I finally get a chance to shine. Howdy-ho! But he is, he as in Naruto, is still fine. Kabuto is up on with Orochimaru. Well, no, he's not up with Orochimaru. He's the one who helped Orochimaru summon the snakes. But he is still on the ground as Jiraiya goes to fight Orochimaru. Naruto goes to aid, but gets attacked by the snake and just swallowed as Kabuto goes after Tsunade and Shizune. Shizune is able to keep him at bay, but obviously it fails. Ultimately, though, instead of Naruto just kind of getting out of the snake's mouth like he does, this is where it's just like, all things in the universe turn to ash. That's when they all suddenly hear the rumble, and Jiraiya actually smirks like, huh. And Tsunade's like, what? All of a sudden, the snake just bursts into flames. Like, Ryujinn Jakka! What? What is this? What is this immense power? This fire power! This fire! Kabuto! Yes, Lord Orochimaru! And they basically get there. He even summons Manda at one point. And just, Orochimaru, what are you doing here? Why did you summon me? I'm like, well, Lord Manda, we need your aid. This is silence! What could you possibly offer me, boy? Bah! He's like, you want me to, and then he looks like, you want me to fight a child with a flaming stick? You must be out of your mind. And then Naruto, who's been training, can handle Ryujinn Jakka a little bit better now. It's like, just fell and just whoosh. It's like, you think this was a good tactic, summoning me here? I will be roasted alive if I'm not careful. Why did you think that I was a good selection for this? Please, aid us, Lord Manda. Very well then. And he just, dives in the ground. Huh? And all of a sudden, Naruto can hear the ground just, the ground opens up. Just, he's about to get swallowed whole. Just, Nagiri! Nadajiri. And he just slices. Now, there's fortunately stone, technically, in Mada's mouth as well. So that takes a bit of the hit. But he does get, like, the front part of his face nearly burnt off. Like, it goes in deep enough to be like, it doesn't go into his skull, so it doesn't go into his brain. But similar to what happened with Tsunade stabbing the sword through his mouth. Except, so his mouth gets split along with the stone. The stone blocked enough that it doesn't, like, kill him, fortunately. But it's cauterized because of the heat, so now it kind of fuses back together, but it still says, "Oh, you little! I'd kill you for this, Orochimaru, but I will be able to eat solid food for a week after this." And he just disappears. And Kabuto and Orochimaru are like, "What? What? How could he have so much power?" All of a sudden, Naruto has they see an orb, and they see the fully completed Rasengan in his hand. And while he's not truly combining it with his fire chakra, he is kind of like using Ryujinn Jakka and kind of like I want to say like runs it through it, and there's just fire enveloped in it, and so he just boom comes in, rushes with a couple shadow clones on there, and just boom, like it hits and just it's almost poof, like almost burns away the entire ground. A little like Zanka no Tachi, but to him he had too much prep. So it just firing, just flame after flame after flame. Only now is Naruto starting to he can't maintain it for very much longer. We just have to outlast him. And finally, and all of a sudden, he just sees Jiraiya there, having also had some time to recover because Naruto's actually doing a lot of the fighting at the moment, and just using Nino Jizo and just grabs him with his hair. It's like, damn it all. It's like, do it, kid! And it's like, huh? It's like, we must leave us. Like, very, damn it all, damn it! And they last minute do like a teleport escape jutsu to get the hell out of there. For Jiraiya basically gets his hair singed. Like, oh, damn, it's gonna take forever to grow this back. So yeah, sorry. Then he just seals the sword. It's like, sorry, Pervy Sage. Stop. It's no worry. They were gonna, most likely they would have gotten away anyway. Tsunade, meanwhile, is just astounded by Naruto's power, his resolve, and the fact that he didn't master the technique. Then Naruto kind of walks over. He's tired, but he just leans over. It's like, you okay, Granny? It's like, and she just looks like, hey, don't forget, you owe me that necklace because I won our bet. And it just summons a Rasengan on his hand. And then she actually just smiles. It's like, and I think the shaking does stop. I think Naruto's resolve is her resolve in Naruto is what ultimately caused her wanting to protect him. It's ultimately what stopped the shaking. I think that happens here, but in a different version of it, where she still sees her brother and her her brother and her lover there in Naruto. She sees them in him, and it just reminds her of, everything. And so she puts her faith one more time in someone. And so she gives him the necklace, gives him a kiss on the forehead, and she does accept the role as Fifth Hokage. And Naruto is there to at least hear it and accept it. And so there's no extra fight this time. It's all good. They're all okay with each other on this. And they head back to the village where Tsunade wakes up Sasuke. And we end this off with Sasuke wanting to challenge Naruto again. Once again, Naruto's like, what are you talking about? You just got healed by Granny Tsunade. Fight me right now. You were so eager to challenge me in the exams, but now that But now that the opportunity is here, you're scared. What? And it's like, Naruto, he's goading you. And so Naruto's like, screw it, fine, whatever. And so they square off and fight. And fight's a lot more in Naruto's favor in this version. They start hand-to-hand, but Naruto pulls out a sword and he's keeping Sasuke at a distance. Makes a couple clones use the sword. Sasuke uses a fireball jutsu, but Naruto counters with a fireball jutsu. And Sasuke's like, wait, when did he learn that? Sakura's asking that same question, as a matter of fact. When did he learn that? And then Naruto's obviously got the Rasengan prepped. He's not activating Ryujinn Jakka because for obvious reasons. Not only because that would literally kill Sasuke, but also because public place. No, you need to be away from a lot of people to use Ryujinn Jakka effectively. Or at least be near people strong enough to take that. And so he activates it. He activates Joy. They near clash. Kakashi comes, stops the fight. And so we end with Sasuke getting the invitation from the Sound 4 and ultimately leaving the village. So that is part 5. What if Naruto had Ryujinn Jakka? Or Zanpakuto, the Ryujinn Jakka edition. What will a Sasuke retrieval arc look like now with Naruto having the arguably strongest Zanpakuto, or at least in the top 5 of all time? We'll find out. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.